Hey, this is Mitch for Eagle Radio, and in the studio today we have Serene Gauthier, Environmental Response Program Specialist at the KBIC Natural Resources Department. Serene, thanks for coming in.
Bonjour, Mitch. Thanks for having me.
All right, so you have a couple different projects you're working on, and you're here to give us an update on what you've been up to, right?
Yes. So with my job, it entails addressing historic and contemporary contamination. So that's illegal open dumping, spill response, brownfield sites, and collaborating to get recycling programs up and running and events and stuff. So I'm really excited to announce that I have been working on funding since 2019 to address 6 abandoned structures on the reservation.
6?
Yes, that's what I'm here for. So currently, I got the BIL funding, the Biden Infrastructure Law funding, and I applied for the grant in 2022, and I've got the funding. So if you've been on the reservation, you've noticed that the abandoned structures have been coming down. We have 3 in Ziba, 1 in Ora, and 2 in Baraga.
Okay.
So there's 1 more that's coming down on Monday. So it's super exciting. And this is grant funded through the BIL funding through EPA.
All right, so first of all, I guess I'm just a little bit curious about the locations. Can you tell us a little bit more about these 6 different sites? Just a couple more details?
Well, the 1 in Ora, that was a historic property. That's been taken down, and then the 3 in Ziba. There's 2.
All right. Well, let's go back. Let's go slow through this. The 1 in Ora. Tell us about what was it? Just like a home, or
yes.
What was there?
So it was the tribal realtor Jason Eras approached me in 2019 and asked me for funding to address these historic properties. So that's what I've been doing, is finding funding for that. And
so, do you know any details about who lived there, or anything like that?
No, I don't know the details, but some of the names I can trace back to families. Like there was a couple on Marksman Road. They were called like the Hullapa Spruce residents or the Uncle and Miller residents. So it's just families that no longer want anything to do with those properties.
Okay, so the aim of the project is, more of, all right, these buildings need to come down and we need to clean it up, and then you're kind of researching things on the side a little bit as you go, or what?
No, not much research.
Okay.
I've got to manage the grant and do the contracts and stuff with the contractors. So I just oversee the project.
I guess like what I'm asking is like the facts that you've learned were just kind of things you've learned. You didn't need to. You just like, well, this is kind of curious and it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so what do you know about, you said there's 1 in Ora, there were 3 in Ziba?
Yes.
Can you tell us about the 3 locations in Ziba?
The 3 locations, there's 2 on Marksman and there's 1 on Dakota Road.
Oh, okay.
Or Lower Ziba Road, yeah. So they've been down, and the contractor's working on the last property, the St. Arnold and Baraga. That's the biggest property. It's around that, Mission Road, or on that curve.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know which one you're talking about.
Yep. So what this allows, it opens up spaces for, tribal members to get their acre for residential leases.
Yes, and I've always wondered about that building because this is a nice location there. I actually did a youth film workshop years ago, and we used that home for our haunted house. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I really like history, so I just am so curious about these locations. Like, what's the oldest location that you're working with here?
I don't know the dates, but I do know the contaminants. If they were built before 1970, they're more likely to have lead and asbestos, mercury and arsenic. And I did have an environmental engineer team, come in and test all those properties, and it was all found contaminated. So that's what helped me turn them into brownfield sites, which then led me to get funding through EPA, the bill funding.
Okay, I'm catching up with what's going on here.
And then the second portion of that funding that I got, because it's a $1.3 million grant, and I did a community survey to see what 14 brownfield sites on the reservation the community would like to see cleaned up. And the highest percentage was the Asinin site, because I think we all have a little bit of connection to that site through our ancestors. And I know my grandma went there, at the old Catholic orphanage. So,
oh, yeah.
So the funding for that is the building was taken down improperly, so there's contaminants and there's no known contaminants. Like the space where they're going to clean it up, they need a better perimeter. So that has to be sampled, and then I got some funding to turn it into a green space. So you're going to have a ceremony space.
Oh, wow.
We're looking at water fountains, fire rings, pathways, garden. So there'll be more work in the future with that because we do need community input for that project.
Yeah, I really like that kind of reclaiming the space because a lot of history there, a lot of history.
I would like a language and cultural revitalization center there, but my funding will not do any type of building or construction. It's strictly for cleanup.
I see.
Yep.
And so what other organizations have you been working with again to get this all done? Because that sounds like there's going to be a lot of tape procedures, paperwork, and,
Right. I work with an environmental group. They help me oversee the project, and they help with the contracts and, getting the waste material and all that other stuff. Everything's properly done.
Yeah. And who gets that out of the ground, these contaminants and stuff? Like, do you work with a certain company?
Right. Currently, we're working with MD Contracting out of Berga.
Oh, okay.
And they're taking down the abandoned structures.
All right.
So.
And then, what you mentioned over here at Sinnons, there's stuff under the ground?
Yes.
And how does that go about? Is that kind of the same process? You just go down there and get it? Is it in a basement or in the ground?
I've heard several different stories when they were taken down, because I was a kid when they took it down, that they, I've heard from the elders when they took it down that they left the foundation there and the pipes and stuff.
Okay.
And then we looked in the past reports that were done, and there's just so many gaps of, where the contamination is. So we're just going to have to go and resample the area.
Okay.
Soil and groundwater and stuff to make
Wow.
sure it's cleaned up properly, because really you can't do nothing there right now.
Yeah. I mean,
it exceeds cleanup criteria. So
heck of a job. Heck of a job.
So I'm really excited to be working on that as well.
Okay. So, and then once these 6 sites are all through, what's the plan after that? Where do you see the project going?
Well, Jason would like to put people there. They're some of those spaces are beautiful. I know the one in Aura, it'd be a nice hunting camp for a tribal member.
Okay.
Or,
So those would be available to tribal members through the leasing program that they have.
Yep.
Okay, and then do you have your eyes on any other locations after that? Or is it all right, once we're done with the 6, we're done?
That was our inventory that Jason gave me.
Okay.
For on the reservation. Yep.
Very curious. I'd like to maybe get the camera out in the field. Every time I do these updates, it makes me want to get out of the studio and get the camera out there just to kind of, I don't know, see stuff.
The landscape looks so different without that abandoned structure,
Yeah.
The Uncle and Miller, if you drive down Marksman Road, there's 2 houses that just are not there anymore, and the landscape looks beautiful. So
very cool. So I feel like we covered that pretty well. I mean, I have so many other questions, but we only just have a limited time here. So what about some other updates from NRD? What else is going on? There's always a lot there.
So our department works tirelessly to get these programs. We work on our programs and our grants and, our field work and our data collection. And then we also find time to host these events for the community. So I know the Kids Fishing Derby, we had over 184 kids registered, even though it rained the whole day.
Very cool. Or not the rain, but the
but kids were still out there fishing, and getting back to their roots. And we also have the tire recycling event on Saturday, July 13th. 9 of us will be out there. That's going to be a pretty big one. Yeah. And then we have Lake Superior Day on Monday, July 22nd. And that's a really cool day because we start off with the water ceremony, and then, a lot of volunteers or community members, they come up and show up. We do the water ceremony, and then we go clean a beach. Then we come back, and then we have a lunch and stuff. So
where is the location of the water ceremony?
It's at Sandpoint.
Sandpoint, very
Same
cool.
place as the Kids Fishing Derby.
And everybody's invited to that, right?
Yes, yep. And then we also have Boat America, boating safety training. That's in late July and early August for KBIC members who own a boat or commercial fishermen. I mean, that's a great program. I know we hosted one a couple of years ago, and everybody got a life jacket that showed up, and you learned about boater safety and stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Shout out to you guys over there, because my kid went to one of the survival courses, and he got a backpack full of good stuff. Yep. You guys get some cool stuff to give away. I'll tell you that much.
Right. We also participate in the Water Walk. That is Wednesday, July 24th, and that's the 17-mile walk to bring awareness of our waters, and that starts at Pequaming and it ends at Sandpoint. And that's a hard walk, but every walk, it's important. And we have the Healing Circle Run. That's collaborated with Cliffwick. That's Monday, July 15th. There's a lot of spots open for that. So I suggest people, find Sheila to register. And then Mondays, we have beach cleanups, which is a volunteer program. And then Saturdays, we have Garden for Heart. If you go and volunteer on Saturdays, it's really cool. You'll get like a book or like a gardening tool on, it's just simple things like weeding or helping in the hoop houses. And then we also have our powwow education booth that'll be coming up at the powwow. We've been having that since 2019. And I organized that where it's we have segments, 2-hour segments. We'll have the wildlife program, we'll have the fisheries, we'll have the environmental health, so, and that's a great one because you get to see the whole community at the powwow and you get to do your education and outreach.
And it's shaping up to be a heck of a year for the powwow too. I'm excited.
Yeah. So, we work tirelessly to get these events out for, the community on top of our own job duties. So.
Yeah. So for people looking to learn more about your project or anything else going on in the NRD, where do they go?
You can follow us on our Facebook page. We always respond to messages on there. It's KBIC Natural Resources Department. Or you can call 906-524-5757.
All right. Do you have a section on the official KBIC website as well?
Not yet.
Not yet?
It's under construction.
Okay, very cool. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you very much for being here today, and thank you for doing the work that you do.
All right. Miigwech, Mitch.